Hey guys, this is Jake, aka Korean Jew, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about why it is important for America to embrace Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Um, Normally, I would be going over a regular market recap, which I will go over slightly in the end, but I have some stuff on my mind that I really want to put out there, um, somewhat unfiltered, just looking at the whole situation with China, and then regular stuff in everyday American life that's been really bothering me. So I'll start by saying this. Our country was founded by revolutionaries who came from England and were colonizing this great country of America. And they were being taxed without representation, meaning they were paying money and getting nothing out of it from their government, so they fought back. And right now, we're in a state where many Americans, when you talk about taxation without representation, I think it's very relevant. So, somebody like myself, I've worked since I was 19. I never got a cent from the government. I never had any sort of public funding or anything like that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I didn't need it. And I worked for everything I had. Um, but I don't call the cops. I don't call the fire. I haven't had a fire, God willing. And, I haven't gone to the hospital and ran up a bill and gone bankrupt. I've always paid taxes for every job, but what have I gotten from my government? I've got wars that I didn't believe in. I've got spied on. Um, I've got harassed by police for being in the wrong neighborhood. I happened to live in the Bronx at one point, and when I was there, just for walking down the street, they would push me against a wall and say, "Open your pockets," and I'd say, I have a 6 month son upstairs. I just came downstairs to smoke a cigarette. Why should I empty my pockets? And they would throw handcuffs on me. You know, um, so I felt in America, the land of the free, that I wasn't that free, number one. Number two, I was being taxed without representation. I mean, if I go through an Easy Pass that's 50 cents and my Easy Pass isn't prepaid for whatever reason, you know what they do? They charge me $50. Every way they can take money out of my pocket, they do. And when you look at the people that are really making money in this country, the corporations, the banksters, Wall Street, these guys get every break. We don't get any breaks, the regular Joe, like me and you. We don't get them. But George Soros's and Jamie Dimon's, the Hillary Clintons, they get every break they can get. And they don't want that to end. If I was in that position, I probably wouldn't want it to end either. But that's the reality. You look at 2008. Subprime mortgage collapse. These banks, AIG, and Lehman Brothers went under, but there was major bailouts being handed out from taxpayer dollars because these people screwed up and they couldn't stay open for basically fraudulent or unethical behaviors that they were engaging in. So in a capitalist society, it's kill or be killed. Let the battle of the fittest. But what we have now is not capitalism anymore. It's crony capitalism, and it's it's wrong. The bottom line is it's wrong. That's my opinion. So pivoting to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and what we're really here to talk about, you look at China. Now, China claims to be a democracy. We all know that's a farce. Um, they're very communist and draconian, authoritarian country where the people are basically treated like sheep. They work, they don't have the rights. The rich people do well, but the majority of the people in China, look at the factories. They have nets under them so that the workers don't commit suicide. They're working like 18 hours a day to make nothing. So they don't have access to the internet, only what the country wants them to see. They can't invest and do things in markets outside of China. It's an authoritarian state. And when it comes to Bitcoin, this is maybe the third time that they've really tried to shoot it down and control it. The reality is China has 90% of the mining power, and they were responsible for maybe 15 to 20%, depending on the time, percentage of the market cap. When they threatened this latest threat that there were, or actually regulation that they were going to stop ICOs, which I actually believe in. They should regulate ICOs, but they also announced that they would be stopping exchanges. We lost about 25% of the market cap pretty quickly. Um, so my thought is that if China wants to play this game, because we all know they're going to buy low, they did last week. America bought low last week. Look at Jamie Dimon comes out and says Bitcoin's a fraud, and then you have J.P. Morgan buying on last Friday. So for those that watch my other videos and stream, I hope you guys didn't panic sell. I hope you bought low, and if you did, you would probably be up about 25 to 30%. My recommendation for you is to probably take some profit. I would try to take 20 to 30% of that profit and put it into either US dollar tether or fiat, because I don't think we're out the woods yet. It reminds me, what's going on in this market right now reminds me a lot of July with hard fork FUD, where people were scared of what would happen with the hard fork, and the big players in the space knew that. So they could simply move their money in and out, and people would see that money moving, and they would get scared. Oh, here, we're going for a dip. So they start to sell, and it creates a trickle-down effect. People panic sell, especially newer buyers. Stop losses get hit, and you get big volatility. And then they're able to buy in again at the bottom. So if they know that they can continue to do that for some period of time, they will. I mean, I would too if I was in their position. So to me, the fact that we went from 3,000 or 2,950 to 4,000 almost in a week, in a matter of days actually. It was last Friday that we were at that level, and we're at Wednesday now. I wouldn't be surprised if it went back down and they tried it again. So you definitely want to have, some more fiat so you can make money off of it. Don't go against it. You're not going to beat them. So try to follow their movements and capitalize. But anyway, the whole point of this video is that as America, the land of the free, supposedly, we all know who our president is. It's Donald Trump. Nobody could have imagined that 10 years ago. But there's a reason why he's in there. And it's because a great deal of our country is fed up with the way politics are handled and the way big business runs the show. And unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to change. I don't think it will. But as a people, we do have opportunities, and I would love to see our government get behind something like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and take that from China, because Trump always talks about how we're getting killed in production. You look at how much everything is made in China. We're losing. We're signing losing deals. These are all, concepts that resonate with the American voter and the American worker. Now, they basically handed us Bitcoin on a silver platter, China. I mean, you don't think we could put together some mining rigs in America, in Idaho, like that, and just say, you know what, forget you, we have this, it's ours now, we got you. And introduce regulation that makes ICO fair, start putting the biggest exchanges in America instead of Japan or Korea. Let's get ahead of the curve. We have Silicon Valley. We have the brightest tech minds in the world here. As a country, we need to get behind this. And we also have retail investors. So if we can, as a country, wake up and instead of looking at Wall Street Journal and how they say that Bitcoin is just for money laundering and buying drugs, rather than talking about what blockchain technology is, how it's the future of the internet, how they don't even mention Ethereum. I mean, they should never talk about blockchain or they should never talk about Bitcoin without mentioning Ethereum, number one. and smart contracts and what the actual technology does. That's that's fake news. It is, because it's misleading. When my grandparents were there, Bitcoin, what's that? The drug dealer? That's what they say. That's the drug dealer, right, Irv? No, it's not for drug dealers. Drug dealers use it. They use pesos, they use dollars, they use anything. It's just another form of currency. But the whole point that I'm trying to make is that we need to raise awareness in this space, and we need to raise governmental awareness. We need our institutions, our financial institutions, instead of fighting this, to embrace it. I mean, look at the music, and they can't stop Bitcoin. They can't stop cryptocurrency. Think about the music industry. So for the old school people like me, and I guess not old school, because old school is like records and shit like that, but I know about records. But when I was coming up, we had Napster. I mean, before I remember the days where if I wanted to hear a song, I'd have to wait for it to come on the radio. And I'd take a recorder, and I'd press record, and I might make a mixtape on a cassette tape and record the song. And then Napster came out, and it was like my head exploded. I can download a song I want to hear and for free instead of paying $15 at Sam Goody. I mean, that was a major coup. So you saw the record industry came out, and bands like Metallica and some different groups started to sue Napster, and they shut Napster down. And you know what happened? LimeWire popped up, and that was basically the same thing as Napster, and that got shut down. And then you had Kazaa and I forgot the name. There were so many others, and then you had BitTorrent. And what happened was the music industry realized this technology is bigger than us. We can't beat them. So instead of beating them, you know what they did? They joined them. That's why you have Spotify, Apple Play, or Apple Music, Google Play, Pandora, all these different streaming services, because they realized the technology was superior, and they wouldn't be able to make a buck. So they had to find a way to partner with them in some capacity to give the people what they're going to get. And Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is no different. So I guess this video is more of a rallying cry for freedom. If you believe in freedom, I mean, this is a country where we were being spied on by. I can't, people are going to take this Apple iPhone that listens to you all day. I mean, I'll have a conversation with somebody and say, yeah, I've been craving California Pizza Kitchen. Then I look at my phone on my Instagram feed, and there's California Pizza Kitchen. So the phone and Alexa and all this is obviously listening to us. That's an invasion of privacy in itself, but the only way to use this, you have to click accept on the terms, and in the terms, if you actually read it, it's like, yeah, we have the right to do anything and watch you and listen to you. Read George Orwell's 1984, because that's basically what we're living. But nevertheless, we are we're dumb as a people. We'll spend $1,000 on the same phone. This phone and whatever is that $1,000 phone, the X. I mean, even this phone I shouldn't have bought because I was an asshole and I wanted it. But I think so differently now. I have friends where I was telling them about Bitcoin in May, June, and I was telling not just Bitcoin. I was telling them about ant shares and ARK. When ant shares was like $3 and ARK was 40 cents. I said, you don't even need a lot. Just whatever you would take. Let's go to the casino. What would you bring? How much money? I know you'd come. How much would you bring? Oh, 500. Whatever that amount is, you put it in. Give it to me. I'll help you. We'll put it in ant shares. I think you can make some money. So, ant shares was like $3 at the time. We would have got maybe 120 shares of NEO now. And I bought a baseball card. What? Are you serious, bro? Like, people just buy stupid shit in America. We take our money and we spend it on the dumbest shit. That $500 that you spent on that baseball card, it could have been, at the height, NEO was almost $55. So he would have had about $6,000. And the baseball card's certainly worth less than what he bought it at. So we don't invest wisely. And if you invest in the stock market, um, you would have done well. If you, it seems that we may be in a bubble. There's certain stocks that I'm definitely looking at, um, but nevertheless, we just need to wake up. And for people that don't know about investing, do your research. Wait till Bitcoin goes down, and buy it. Just buy it, support it. This is the future of money. It's the future of financial freedom. And if you don't get in, you're not doing yourself a service. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This is just kind of a rant, uh, but I really feel this way. And if you enjoyed, please press that like button. Feel free to subscribe. I will have some more content coming out in regards to actual trading advice and opinion. But I just felt that it was necessary to have uh, a video like this, because you have to think about where we're at. You know, freedom is it's it's bullshit. They're taking it from us, and we all know who's in control. But this is a chance. This is a chance to get a piece of something that they can't touch. And I think it's time for America to lead the world in financial freedom once again. And this is our chance. So I really would just like to see more awareness, more visibility, more discussion, and more retail investors looking into buying Bitcoin. So have a good night. I hope you enjoyed this video.